No. Okay. Okay. All right. 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 Okay. Okay. All right. 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 Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, your majesty, and inhabitants of the Delta Quadrant, welcome to the end of the world. It's nice to live in the free world. We're so civilized. We've got no suicide bombers. Our pilots all come back alive from dropping bombs on some country, the name of which I have not heard. Uzbekistan, Iranipak. It sounded quite absurd. And that's called democracy. And it's as plain as can be. You can call it peace and freedom, but it's just your fantasy. It's nice to live in the free world, where liberty prevails. We just listen to your phone calls and read all your emails. The government likes you on Facebook, and it's reading all your tweets as it scans your facial features while you're walking down the street. And that's called democracy. And it's as plain as can be. You can call it peace and freedom, but it's just your fantasy. You can call it what you want to, but it ain't democracy. You can call it peace and freedom, but it's just your fantasy. And who doesn't like a good fantasy? After all, I like a good fantasy. It's nice to delude yourself every now and then that everything's great, isn't it? I mean, life would be really sucky if you went around thinking it was pish all the time. Actually, most of the time, I indulge in a fantasy that goes like this. Isn't life great? I'm having such a wonderful time. Everything's going to work out. I really do. And as a result, I have a good time. And I hope you can liberate yourself from your cynicism, your anxieties, your grasp of reality even, and indulge occasionally, if not repeatedly, in a fantasy that everything will be fine. Why not, eh? So, had a few technical problems tonight and yesterday. It would appear YouTube have changed the way things stream to something totally fucking stupid. And as a result, I kept inadvertently creating streams that I had no intention of doing so while I was trying to access the set up your own stream. Anyway, I think I've got a handle on it now. I'm not stupid, you know, but YouTube seemed to have made this a particularly dumb way of doing things. Thanks, YouTube. And on that subject, I should like to mention that I am commissioning on deekjackson.com a YouTube clone video hosting site, and I shall be installing on deekjackson.com every video I ever made, including the ones YouTube didn't like. Hate Jews while you still can, amongst others. What else didn't they like? Prince Andrew is a whore fucking liar. What else didn't they like? Oh, they didn't like so much. 9/11 was a lie. They really don't like that shit anymore, do they? Since the whole Sandy Hook court case, you're not allowed to deny tragic events took place in case it offends the relatives of the dead who believe whatever the government said. And I should like to make it clear right now, for the avoidance of any doubt, that I totally believe the government's version of 9/11, and I think Jews are wonderful. Lovely people, and it's good that God chose them as their chosen people because they are so lovely, and I really like Jews. Yes, I do. Okay, now we've got that out of the way. I should also like to say that I've been playing my guitar and taking drugs today, so I haven't arranged anything for the show. It's been a lovely day here in Scotland, in Britain. It's been the hottest August for 20 years. And as regular viewers of the show will know, one of my favourite topics is how we're all fucked because of the climate. So it's days like this that really, you know, it really polishes my nonce. Because I feel we do need more catastrophe. We really do. We need more catastrophe to get the public behind this whole end of the world deal, yeah? Unless the public start to think, hey, is stuff really fucked up or what? Unless the public think that, we don't stand a chance, people. We don't stand a fucking chance. And hopefully, later, I will be Skyping Lone Wolf, who not only doesn't believe that we have a chance, he doesn't want us to have a chance. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I've known him for some time, and I'm pretty sure he thinks humans are fucked and are going away real soon. And with or without any warning signs. But the entrails of the chicken, if you wished to divine the future from the entrails of any chicken, the entrails of the chicken have spilled out on the pavement of life. Their lifeblood is oozing away. Their spleen, gallbladder and pancreas are lying there in a haphazard, random alignment, allowing you to gaze at it as a cross-section of the quantum entangled universe and figure out exactly what the future holds. And if you can do that, great. I'd like to hear from you, because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are the show, and I'm now going to take a look at the comments, and we're going to engage in a to and fro, a backwards and forwards, where people in the comments section will say things, perhaps post the odd joke, and I will read them out and respond to them as we go. And if you're not interesting, passionate, or funny, then, you know, I will Skype some people. And I'm going to fire up Skype just now because I'm going to try and add that to my streaming software window, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so all right. I'm just going to add Skype as a window. Just bear with me a second. Okay, there we go. All right. And okay, so I'm ready to Skype now. I will hopefully be Skyping Lone Wolf, and I'm not sure how this is all going to work, but if my desktop audio works, you should be able to hear him through the miracle of technology that is my laptop. And if not, perhaps you will hear him as the speakers transmit their sound through the air and they're picked up by the microphone. And if not, I'll sort of repeat what he says and then we'll abandon the call because it'll be too much like hard work. So we're going to try that. And the other thing we can try, if you're at all keen on it, the Skyping, and you'd like to appear on the End of the World show, my Skype is now open. My Skype handle is FKN News with a Z. Skype me. See what happens. And if not, post a joke or something you're interested or passionate about in the comments, and we'll all have a chat about it. Mahatma Malevolence. Beirut is rioting like fuck. Well, no wonder. They're led by religious people. Wouldn't you riot if your government was a collection of corrupt religious zealots? You know, I hear people say, oh, Lebanon's such a wonderful place because all of the religions live in harmony. Do they? But if by harmony you mean a complete shithouse, a dysfunctional nation that can barely defend its borders, and where the people are poor, hungry, and desperate for change, if that's what you mean by harmony, then sure, the people of Lebanon live in harmony. There's no majority of religious nutters in Lebanon. Perhaps that's the problem. In Lebanon, there's a kind of equilateral triangle of Muslim, Christian, and Druze. I'm not entirely sure what Druze is, but I imagine they're mental retards like all other religions, so I don't really care. And because there's no majority, and therefore there's no consensus, it's hard for one party to rule absolutely and properly in any sort of functional way. And so they have this three-handed deal where it would appear to be the case that every element of Lebanese society, the Christians, the Muslims, and the others, try to outdo each other in screwing their own people and running their country into the dust. And my advice for anybody run by religious people, and this includes the people of what's left of Palestine, you know, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, why don't you all get rid of those crazy religious people who represent you? They're not doing you any favors. They're really not. You'd be better converting to Scientology because it's only slightly less ugly and stupid than Judaism or Islam. However, if you wanted to be really smart, you'd convert to being an astronomer. Join now. We have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, and a website, theastronomers.org. Convert to being an astronomer. Decline to be led by a crazy mullah or imam, and have some rational government. So, okay, let us now attempt the Skyping. Okay, ready? Now, if this doesn't work, we'll do something else. Let's see what happens. Hey, Mark, or Lone Wolf, I should say.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. All right, let me see. I can hear you. Okay, let me check my audio.
Can't hear you at all.
Okay, I'm working on it.
Nothing.
I'm working on it. Okay, that should be better now.
I've got you audio now. Yeah.
Okay, right. Let me just adjust the picture that we're getting in the stream.
I
And
just want the future's so bright. I gotta wear shades here.
I don't blame you. It's a good look. I commend you on your fashion statement. Now,
Well, you're speaking about how hot it is there. It's here at Mile High in Montana. It's been the coldest August on record. It got down to 7°C last night.
wow, 7°C. It got down to 7°C. Well, 7°C is quite warm in that it's it's not freezing. I mean, we had
middle of August though. I mean,
yeah. Well, in Scotland, we're not used to being warm, so that's that wouldn't be a bad thing for us, 7°C. But funny you should speak of the weather, because my purpose in getting you on is to talk about the climate. Not because potentially, people don't already know there's a problem with the climate, but because you and I broadly agree about the state of the climate, but we disagree on some of the finer points of our future. Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but so I'll put words in my own mouth and you can respond. I think humans might be able to pull their ass out of the fire. And I think at the very least, they'll put up a good fight. But I do think we're in big trouble.
well, yeah, at a minimum, we're in big trouble. Yeah. I have several degrees in biology, and I understand how temperature affects things such as food production, for instance. Right? We keep going on the current trajectory in a decade. Cereal grains on the interior continents is going to be beyond problematic. It's going to be damn near impossible. Okay, without grains, civilization goes away. Without civilization is defined as when they locked up the food. Okay, I mean, agriculture, the priests and the governments decided who gets food and who doesn't. Those days are coming back. Perhaps vertebrates don't go extinct. I happen to think they will. In fact, I happen to think all eukaryotes will go extinct.
And you ought to perhaps explain what a eukaryote is.
A multicellular organism, other than fungi, bacteria, protista, whatnot, multicellular organisms, particularly terrestrial multicellular organisms, including insects, worms,
Yeah.
Multicellular organisms terrestrially are going extinct within 50 years, in my opinion. Maybe less. Let's say humanity figures out a way not to go extinct. Our population's going down to 1% of what it currently is, just on the food supply issues.
Okay, let's rewind a little. For some people who missed that moment in the conversation where we both nodded as you went, well, I understand how temperature affects organisms. So I often feel that people lack a basic understanding of what is happening in our atmosphere, even though it's been well rehearsed in the media constantly. The greenhouse effect and carbon dioxide. Would you like to just run us over chapter and verse of the orthodox story of greenhouse effect?
First of all, we're at historic highs already. There's a 20 to 30, there's a debate as to the lag time, but between the release of the CO2 into the atmosphere and the actual peak of its effect is somewhere between 20 and 30 years. So we're basically feeling the effects from 20 to 30 years ago. And then that last 20 or 30 years, we've already doubled the atmospheric concentrations. So we ain't even if we stopped right now and immediately put a single molecule of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, we're still going to see temperature go up 5, 10 C. Okay,
All right,
and then CO2 isn't the big immediate problem is methane. Okay, from the permafrost melting and from releasing the Arctic primarily, not to mention cow farts. Methane is anywhere from, what's on the time scale, in a 20-year time scale, methane is hundreds of times more potent than as greenhouse gas and carbon dioxide. And in 100-year time scales, it's 20 to 30 times more potent. Eventually, methane gets converted into carbon dioxide through oxidation. So all the methane we put up is eventually going to become carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. I mean, so you put those two together, the timeline we haven't experienced yet on the CO2 and the methane increase, which is, I don't know what the doubling time on that is, but it's going up faster than CO2 is, and it's much more potent.
Okay, I don't want to baffle people with the science because there is, I believe, a basic lack of understanding about the very fundamental operation of the greenhouse effect, and that it's simply defying the laws of physics to believe you can put CO2 in the atmosphere and not have warming. It absolutely, every CO2 molecule that goes into the atmosphere, even infinitesimally, adds warmth to the planet. How is that done?
Well, the shortwave radiation that comes in from the sun and goes right through the atmosphere, hits the Earth, it strikes some, object on the Earth, matter, and it becomes long-wave radiation, which is heat. Okay, and that's re-radiated back out into space. As it's going back out into space, it encounters these CO2 molecules or methane molecules, and there's other greenhouse gases. The long-wave radiation hits the molecule and excites it, gives it energy. Okay, trying to make this simple as possible. And in effect, the CO2 molecule, sticking with that, increases in its heat content.
So it becomes a radiant source of heat.
Right.
And
so it's in the atmosphere.
Yeah. So I have never ever heard, ever in my long career on the internet of dealing with or debating climate and the greenhouse effect with people, I have never heard one single argument that could negate, deny, or dismantle the basic premise that the greenhouse effect works. Every molecule of CO2 that goes into the atmosphere increases the warmth that is in our atmosphere. You cannot change the laws of physics, Captain. Therefore, let's now take a look at the figures involved, because we're not just talking the odd molecule here and there. We are talking gigatons every year.
Oh, yeah. And okay, so you take, I don't remember the exact formula for gasoline, but, C2H8 or whatever it is. Okay, it's carbon and hydrogen. You combust it in an engine, get in whatever. It doesn't matter. You combust it, you combine it with oxygen, and produces carbon dioxide and water vapor, both of which go into the atmosphere, both of which are greenhouse gases. For every 2 hydrogens in that diesel, gasoline, jet fuel, whatever, it's taking oxygen out of the atmosphere, so our oxygen levels are going down, okay? And we're basically reprocessing the atmosphere of the planet. We're reducing the amount of oxygen, and we're increasing the amount of all the other gases, that most of which are so-called greenhouse gases. And yeah, it's in gigatons per month, probably. I mean, and we're not slowing, and it's not slowing down despite all the hubbub and cut back on this and ban cars and and go green and all the winter, all this bullshit has not done a fucking thing. It hasn't even slowed it down. Okay, we're still pumping it out faster and faster and faster every day.
Absolutely.
And we still haven't seen the effects from 20 to 30 years ago.
Okay, so now we've established there's incontrovertible laws of physics involved, that we're pumping billions and billions of tons every year, and every month, at least 1 billion every month, possibly 3 billion tons a month to get 36 billion tons a year.
Take the amount of fossil fuels that are combusted, multiply that by approximately 8. That's how many tons are going in the atmosphere.
So, and the consequences of this are extreme, catastrophic, potentially fatal for our species and many other species. It's not maybe. This has already happened. It happened 30 years ago. We're only living in 1990. We've got 30 years to go before we catch up with today, and the shit is already hitting the fan.
Yeah, the bottom line is you can't change laws of physics. Climate change is just as real as gravity. If you don't believe it, go jump off a roof.
Okay, so, and now we come to where perhaps we part company, because I like to think, I'm not saying I believe it, but I like to think humans are capable of fixing it.
Here in America, you can't even wear a mask without getting this. Fixing it. But totally different story. I saw a good video last night about, what are they calling it? COVID-21, okay? It's a movie coming out. It's a theory, but if you think COVID-19 is the last of the viruses, you're fucking nuts, right? You just wait till there's a virus that's as transmittable as COVID and as lethal as MERS, okay, or whatever. And we may not even have to wait for climate things to fucking extinct us. The viruses might do it in advance of that, okay? Anyway, I know I got off on a different subject, but...
Yeah, well, humans live a fragile life along with other life on the planet Earth. But if everything remains, normal, in inverted commas, or as it is at the moment, we're simply headed for ever hotter and hotter temperatures, leading to the decline of agriculture. And sooner or later, surely the masses are going to demand great changes, and our top scientists and government officials will bring about huge change on the Earth, and we'll fix this shit and move on to a new golden age of solar-powered shopping.
Yeah, well, you can't make solar panels without petroleum, but at any rate, you got to mine those metals and refine them, yada, yada. Virtually every university in the world has been researching how to extract carbon from the atmosphere for decades, and nobody's made any progress. There's people that claim, though, they got a new whiz-bang idea, like Harvard's current.
Yeah, I'm familiar with carbon capture and storage.
The implementation, nobody's even doing this at an experimental level, much less an industrial scale.
Well, there is one place, there is one plant in Canada. It's about the size of a wellhead. The whole installation is just a fenced-in couple of porta cabins and a little radiator sticking up into the air where they are conducting carbon capture storage. But I'm glad you mentioned carbon capture storage, because our only hope lies in removing carbon from the atmosphere. The lie of the green lobby or the environmentalists at the moment is that all we got to do is drive a hybrid, recycle our plastic, and we'll be fine. That's bullshit. There's nothing we can do about what's already done by cutting down.
Exactly. Now, I when you shifted to the fact that you wanted to Skype on the show, I pulled up a thing that I did 15, 20 years ago. And a little, I don't know, call it a poem or whatever, but doesn't rhyme. Titled Benny Biddy Vommy. okay, which is a play on Caesar's. And I came, I saw, I puked, okay?
All right. That's Latin for any of our scholars in the audience.
Yeah, okay. Now, okay, so there it goes. Willful delusions are eternal. One dimension is infinite. As insanity is simultaneously causal and effective. To say that humans are stupid is a redundancy. Acquiring wisdom requires great success in the accumulation of significant error. I'll insert, that's where we are now, significant error. Okay. Belief begets destruction, faith foments failure. Homo sapiens sapiens is the penultimate redundant oxymoron. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There is only stupid. Life is pain. Anyone is saying any different is selling something. Life is toxic. Death is a sole anecdote. What once was will be again. Specifically, this is nothing. Okay, we are heading for nothing as a species, in my opinion.
Right. Well, I think we will put up. I think at the very least we will put up a good fight. I look forward to a few.
Oh, yeah, we'll bitch and moan and scream and blame everybody else, and there'll be wars and famines and we'll get on Facebook and go, hey, look at all those niggers starving to death. Yeah, well, it's coming to a neighborhood near you soon.
Yeah, I think that's when we'll get some action. But I see the action actually happening. Humans aren't just going to roll over and let warm weather tickle their belly till they die. I expect at the very least to have a few subterranean arks full of plausible breeding stock powered by nuclear fusion buried at the North Pole, or the South Pole rather.
Yes. I don't have any evidence, but I strongly suspect that already existed at some level. The Bezos of the world, with their untold billions. Just by the way, I heard that, what was it, 2 Mondays ago, Jeff Bezos made $13 billion in 24 hours. Wow. $13 billion in 24 hours. What do you think he's doing with it? He's not giving it away.
I know that seems like a lot, but as I often say about the casino that we live in, the economy allegedly that we live in is just one casino full of plastic gaming chips, and there are people outside the casino who own all the valuable resources of the planet that aren't even known. We don't even know their names. The people who own, islands in the sun and vast tracts of Brazil. We don't know who they are. But this
they own all the lithium, they own all the cobalt, they own all the iron ore, they own all the petroleum, they own all of the water.
And Jeff Bezos, although he may be the richest man in the world at the moment, is somewhat the equivalent of a wealthy haberdasher. A man with a shop.
I think there's people with the resources and access to information that they may have by now already acted on their underground bunkers.
You see, I think your underground bunker isn't going to help if all agriculture ceases and eukaryotes go extinct. So I hope they've got a better plan than that. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you was I get the impression you don't actually care whether humans put up a good fight or survive necessarily.
I'm 70 years old. I've seen all I want to see. Misery monkeys are disgusting, in my opinion. And so why do you think I live on a mountain in Montana, 20 miles from anybody? I mean, yeah, I don't care. I've had my life. Yeah, it's selfish and greedy and all that. But I can't change physics. I mean, I've been all over the world. I've seen how the rest of the world lives. And I don't see any way that it can continue much longer, much less indefinitely. And when the food, when you can't grow rice, just one example, all the rivers coming out of the Himalayas basically produce all the rice on the planet. Half the world population lives on rice. Okay, those rivers are drying up. The flows are going down every single year because the glaciers are melting off. And soon there won't fine soon, but whatever. In a foreseeable future, there's not going to be any rice paddies growing rice because they don't have the water. And then what does India and China with 3 billion people between them do when they don't have any fucking calories and carbohydrates?
Invade the North Pole.
Yeah, and try crossing the tundra as it's melting with.
Right.
Turning into giant swamps. You know, what was that thing you hit the kid? Siberia's been on fire every summer for the last decade.
Yeah.
And what was it? It was like 40 CE here a couple of weeks ago, and along the Arctic coast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The shit is going down. I'm hoping things get hotter and things get worse, so that things get better. And on that positive note, let's leave it there. I'm going to try and get some other people to Skype in because Skype appears to be working. And let's see.
Yeah, I don't program the whole thing, but yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic. Is the bottom line. I don't think humans have enough to conceive of what the problem is on a global scale, much less any ability to come together and address the problem. I just don't see it happening. Yeah. I see us shooting each other, come wars, shooting missiles,
yeah, man. I mean,
blaming everybody else besides themselves. But coming together to solve a problem, not going to fucking happen, in my opinion.
Well, you only need to look out the window to see how good humans are at working together.
I'll let you get on to your other.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Lone Wolf, for your vision of the future. Let's see if we can get some other visions of the future or fantasies, even.
Just what once was will be again. Specifically, this is nothing.
Yeah.
That's my bottom line.
Yeah. Not being here is just like before you were born.
Exactly. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, have fun. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Ta-ra. Okay, well, that's Lone Wolf's vision of the future. So, is there anybody out there with, a different vision who would like to Skype in? Skype FKN Newz with a Z. I am waiting for your call. Or not. And if you're in the comments, if you've got a vision for the future, if you disagree with Mark or Lone Wolf, if you agree with him, or if you agree with me, you think humans can fix it, or if you disagree with both of us and you don't think there's anything wrong anyway, let's hear from you. And let's talk about this. Let me get back to my streaming software. Yeah. Gerbot, Elon's plan is to go to Mars. I hear Mars is cold, inhospitable, and there's no KFC. There's not even a Starbucks. So if Elon's going, he better take a lot of good stuff with him. What else have we got here? Humans capture carbon. More humans are needed because humans capture carbon. It's true, humans are a carbon-based life form. And so we're headed for 8 billion people. If only we could breed more humans, we ourselves could be a store of carbon that could save the planet. I like your thinking, philosopher. There are Mars bars. Robert Belcher, there are delicious Mars bars on Mars. Yes, I think you've got a category error there. That the popular confectionery Mars bar is somehow related to the planet Mars. Most of the meteorites that fall on Earth are from Mars, and they're a bit crunchy. They're mostly made of iron, and they're a bit chewy. Not chewy, crunchy, hard. Teeth breakers. James Mangan, we can fix it. James Mangan, would you like to elucidate or expand on your how we can fix it? Because, as Mark said there, carbon capture storage is really the only game in town. If you want to fix having put gazillions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere, you're going to have to come up with a way of taking CO2 out of the atmosphere. So, the title of this show, What Next? All right? So, what next? There's a couple of possibilities for what next. First of all, what next? It doesn't matter. You know, this is the climate denier or the skeptic's view, fantasy, vision of the future. Everything will be cool. It's okay. Plants love carbon dioxide. It's got what plants crave, and so the whole thing's just a scaremongering, piece of bad science put about by liberals and retards. And everything's going to be fine. We don't need to do anything. Woo! iPhone 12, anyone? Okay? Man, the shit's really fucked up, and there's nothing we can do about it, and we're all going to die because it's irretrievable, and the tipping points have already been met. Or, actually, it's not a problem. Elon Musk is going to fix it. He's not going to Mars. He was only joking. He's going to stay here and invent some, like a spider with a sponge on its back that crawls around the Earth, sucking carbon out of the atmosphere and shitting gold nuggets. Okay? So, what's your vision of the future? Yes, it is hard to convince people who have a bizarre religious belief of the validity of science. This is one of the things we're up against, those of you who are perhaps interested in having a future. Religious people don't really care what happens on Earth because they're going to heaven. And this is one of my bugbears with organized religion. It's part of the retarded moronness of these people that they view this world as somehow transitory, like they're going somewhere else. Even the Hindus and Buddhists believe there's some sort of transit. You're only here to learn things and then you move on to some other dimension. Well, you know, as the other dimension is a bit unreal and it's unproven as to its existence or whether there's a Starbucks there or a KFC, I'd rather have, as Bob Marley once observed, I'd rather have my heaven here on earth, if you know what life is worth. The new economy will be the cleanup. James Mangan. What is that? Is that like, because I've seen adverts for hybrids on the television, you know, the new self-charging hybrid. Man, that's bullshit. All electric cars is proxy CO2. Your electric car is being charged from an electric source which is using gas. Almost all of the industrialized world, majority of it is now gas, natural gas or fracked gas, which is still a fossil fuel, by the way. So this economy of hybrid and or electric cars, it's a con, it's a lie, it's bullshit. John Cairns, Buddhists got it right. Sorry, Guff. Don't apologize to me for your spiritual beliefs. Just apologize to yourselves. What did the Buddhists get right? Because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Buddhists believe that this world is an illusion and that we are going to transcend it. It's Hindus that believe you come back as a bug. If you don't get being a human right, you come back as a bug. Or while you're a bug, you're in training to be a human. But Buddhists believe this is some sort of world of illusion, and in it we have only to realize as much perfection as we can so that we can, I don't know, get to nirvana? What? Do tell us what Buddhists got right. John Cairns. Eric Farmer, no future or past. I quite agree. There is no such thing as a future or a past. The past isn't stored anywhere. You may remember some stuff from the past, but that's a memory. It's not the actual past. And memory is very unreliable, by the way. And there's no future yet. The future isn't like in a cupboard somewhere, and the future's waiting to come out. Aha! Surprise! It's the future. The future isn't anywhere waiting to arrive, and the past isn't stored under a shelf in the kitchen somewhere. You can get it. Oh, look, there's the past. No past, no future. There is, in fact, only a single, almost inconceivably brief moment in which all of the cosmos exists. Honestly, there is. It's true. There's no storage facility for the past, and there's no tube, like a giant tube of toothpaste containing the future, and the future is squirting itself out, arriving in the present, travelling past you, and becoming the past, washed down the drain after we've all brushed our life's teeth with the future, turning it into the past. There's none of that. There's just now. John Cairns, most Buddhists are cunts. You're changing your tune now, John. I mean, previously, Buddhists had it all sorted out, but now they're cunts. Okay, 9/11 was a success. But Deek, don't the plants eat all of the carbon waste we produce? That's what the other side says. Well, no, they don't consume all of the CO2. In fact, I don't know if there's any other gardeners out there, but I have been known to cultivate plants for my own uses. And one of the ways that you can increase the yield of your plants is by supplying them with CO2. But there's a limit. It's a bit like coffee, right? Speaking of which, I wish I had a coffee. But if you drink a lot of coffee, right, the caffeine level in your blood only goes so high, right? Now, at the point where your blood has got just enough caffeine in it, the rest of it is dealt with by your body. The caffeine levels in your blood never go higher. It plateaus, right? And it's the same with plants. Plants can only take in carbon at such a rate, right? And if there's more CO2 than that, they don't take more. They take such an amount as is appropriate or available to them, and then that's it. You're wasting your money if you pump more CO2 into your grow room than the plants can take. Shh! All right? Gary Ox 7, I charged my car from my solar panels today. That's good, that's great. Just a note about solar panels. The amount of energy it takes to make a solar panel is exactly the amount of energy that it produces in its lifetime. Currently. Google this, it's true. If it takes you, a gigawatt of energy in all ways involved in the production of a solar panel, over its lifetime of 20 years or so, that solar panel will produce just about exactly that amount of electricity. So not really helping there, not helping at all. Only if we had super efficient solar panels that outproduced the energy it took to produce them, would they be any use, if you know what I mean. You can't hold me accountable for my past crimes if the past never existed. Robert Belcher, I like your style. I'd be prepared to argue that philosophically. However, there's evidence of the past. The past itself need not exist for there to be evidence of the past. So, for instance, tattoos. When you wake up in the morning and you've got a tattoo that says, I love Mary, some point in the past, you had a tattoo that said, I love, it's there. It's with you. It's with you in the present, as well as all kinds of other evidence of what you got up to in the past. So, let's see. Buddhists believe we are trapped in samsara, but we can escape the eternal cycle of death, karma, and rebirth in whatever realm. Why would you want to escape? I mean, one of the problems I have with this idea that this world is transitory or an illusion or a test or something is it's kind of demeaning to reality, to the world. That, man, I like life. I like now. I like the world. I don't see it as being a problem or a test or a trial or something that I need to escape. When did being, able and aware and conscious and alive, when did that become a bad thing you wanted to escape from? unless, of course, you're having a really hard time in North Korea. One of my fundamental problems with most religions is they seem to talk down reality instead of talking it up. Life is great, to quote Frank Zappa, and I wish anybody who didn't think so would leave now in case they bring the show down. Life is great. Gerbot, can you sing us a song about how to grow plants? Maybe at the end of the show, I might be able to do that. Philosopher, graphene will help efficiency. Deek is a Homo erectus. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or some sort of veiled threat. Oh yes, and Buddhists say that there is suffering. All right, suffering. I mean, define suffering. J.G. Bennett, an English philosopher, I believe, said, and I quote, this is on a Robert Fripp album, if anybody is a fan, "It is impossible to achieve the aim without suffering." That is to say that you could call anything suffering that is between you and the realization of your goals. Like, I would like a cup of coffee, but I'm going to have to go downstairs and put the kettle on, and I might have to wash a cup because I'm lazy and I probably haven't washed it from the last time. So you could call that suffering, but I could also just call it what is necessary to achieve my aim. And the use of the word suffering is really loaded. It's really, you could just say, it is impossible to achieve the aim without getting off your ass and doing something. Loss of a loved one. I'm a little stoic about that sort of thing. Loss of a loved one. Persig, Robert M. Persig wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, and in it he recounts the tale of he and his son travelling across America on a motorcycle. Now, he wrote another book years later, and in it, I believe he tells the world that his son died when he was 20-something. He may even have been murdered. I don't know if I'm conflating two books. But anyway, in this second book, he writes of the echoes of his son, which still ripple through the quantum verse, in that even though somebody is gone, their effects remain. And so, a very obvious example, you could imagine that somebody, if they know they die, before they die, they write loads of letters and they give them to their lawyer, and they have them posted annually so that their family continue to receive a letter every single year after their death. Now, that's a very trite, mechanical example, but I would suggest that all of the things you ever do in life echo and reverberate and resonate with other people, and that they create a kind of quantum field that represents your existence in the other living things. And so try not to feel bad about people coming and going, but celebrate their having been here at all. And an old friend of mine recently died, and we didn't speak for a few years towards the end of his life, and I somewhat regret that, but I still think that he and all of the things he did in his life, those are still here, echoing and reverberating around the quantum verse. And so he may be gone, but he's not forgotten, and his echoes still go on, as we all will. Penrose. Oh, Penrose. Ripples in the quantum universe. Burn the Buddhists. James, you really are changing your tune. 1 minute you put forward some Buddhist ideologies, and the next minute we're setting fire to them. We're here to have fun. I somewhat agree. We are here to have fun. You should do exactly what you want and enjoy doing. And I've said this before on the show, and I will repeat my little catchphrase. I often say to people, everybody should do exactly what they want. I know I am. Should do exactly what you want all of the time. And some people, when I say that, say, oh, Deek, well, that would be terrible. Imagine the carnage, people running about and machine gunning and raping and killing and robbing. And I think, wow, your idea of doing what you want is a bit racy compared to mine. I was just going to take drugs and play my guitar. But no, your idea is good too. You know, if you're not doing what you want already, then what the fuck? What are you doing here? What have you been doing? Call in well. Phone up your boss. Hi there. Yeah, I'm not coming in today. I'm feeling really good. Don't phone up your boss and tell him you're unwell. Don't phone up and take a day off work feeling sick. I don't feel well. I'm taking a day off work. If you're feeling good, phone up and take the rest of your life off. Because if your job or what you're doing is not exactly what you want to do right now, give it up. There is only one time. There is only one time. And at that point, you know, I think I feel a song coming on. You can live your life in many ways. Have a plan or just take the days. You can find out what is right and wrong, but you can't come back when you're gone. Or they can be cruel, be unkind, suck all the joy out of your life. They can fire off all the bullets and bombs, but they can't come back when they're gone. No, they can't come back. Yeah, when they're gone. One time, believe it to my solid call. When you're gone, there isn't any more. Ain't special, you ain't going on, not being here. It's just like before you were born. And it don't matter if there's ultimate meaning. For all you know, your life is what you're dreaming. In a moment, bust a groove and be fine. The universe is infinite, but you're only here one time. So, live life like a magical fable. Stretch out, think and do it if you're able. No refunds, one ticket, one ride. You wanna hear music? Stare at the night sky. 'Cause you can't come back. Yeah, when you're gone. No, you can't come back. Yeah, when you're gone. You can give it up, have a ball and a blast. Throw it all away and have another glass. You can do what you want and sing this song, but you can't come back when you're gone. No, you can't come back. Yeah, when you're gone. One time, which is a hymn. Let me just put it that way. A one time is a hymn of the astronomers, the greatest religion in the universe, of which I am a member, and I urge all of you to convert to being an astronomer and to save the planet, fight the war on Moron, defeat the evil of Moron that is upon our Earth, so that our alien friends can come and join us and we can all have more fun. And if you'd like to do that, you don't need to go anywhere or do anything. Just declare yourself to be an astronomer, to live by the great principles of being honest, looking after yourself, and that's it really. And maintaining the laws of physics. And when I say maintaining the laws of physics, I mean a few things. First of all, to be an astronomer is to accept that we have acquired some knowledge about the world. And we call those things the laws of physics. They're the amassed knowledge of quasi-certainty about the way things really are. But also, the laws of physics need maintained. People have got to come up with new insights into the nature of reality for those laws of physics to become more and more accurate and more telling and more relevant to us. And so to be an astronomer is to maintain the laws of physics, both in stating that no, there's no magic or fairy tales or divinity. Nature, as described by the laws of physics, is the way it is, and also to involve yourself or support the acquiring of more detailed knowledge about the laws of nature, or physics as we call them. Be honest, look after yourself, and don't do any harm. And if you can ascribe to all of those things, then you can be an astronomer. Just declare yourself to be an astronomer, help fight the war on Moron, and destroy all other religions on Earth until the whole of Earth is one happy family of astronomers. And then our alien friends can come and visit us. And that's my religion, and it allows me a great deal of freedom in my expression, to wit that all other religions are evil, retarded, moron, idiot fucks, and myself and the other astronomers are involved in a war against them, and we're going to destroy them until we take over this planet for its own good. So if you'd like to help save the planet, rid the world of morons, and travel to the stars, become an astronomer. And if you'd really like to help the astronomers, you can visit theastronomers.org and sign up to become a minister and take part in a t-shirt franchise and a land-buying religious cult. Or you can just go to Facebook and post pictures of your breakfast. Facebook, The Astronomers, there's a page, there's a group, and so, Einstein was wrong. Yes, he was. James Mangan. Einstein was wrong. And one of the principal things he was wrong about, because he was misinformed, is that positive and negative charges were balanced out during a period of expansion in the early universe. And in fact, the universe is full of charge separation, which causes voltage and electric currents to be produced, and these electric currents produce magnetism, and magnetism, electromagnetism, is the most powerful force in nature. And the grand vista of the universe and the shape of it and the forms within it are almost all directly caused by electromagnetism and not gravity. Gravity is one of the weakest, if not the weakest, of the four forces, and it will soon become apparent to science. Science has got a bit of catching up to do with the astronomers. The astronomers are currently way ahead of science in that we know and understand that the universe is full of electricity and that electromagnetic forces are shaping the universe. Galaxies are caused by electromagnetism. Solar systems and planets are caused. Stars are caused by electromagnetism, and all of this will become apparent over the course of the next period of human evolution, if we have one. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Agreed. That's one of the sacred facts of the astronomers. Okay. So is anybody going to Skype in? And any of you chatters out there or anybody else watching the show, FKN News with a Z, I'm on Skype right now. If you'd like to get a quick Skype in before the end of the show, now is your chance. Aliens are younger Dryas survivors escaping the cataclysm. Forward time travel is possible. Yeah, I'm skeptical, but you know, given the quantum entanglement and spooky action at a distance, which is a known facet of reality, almost anything is possible. That is possible. That is to say that if anything is possible within the laws of physics, then in a quantum multiverse or quantum entangled universe, those events actually do take place, have taken place, will take place at some point. Robert Belcher got rid of Skype when Microsoft bought it. Gerbot's a time traveller, keeps moving into it. I like it. In that sense, we are all time travellers in the moving forward sense. Never a truer word was spoken. All right, well, before I go then, just time for some commercial messages. See all the art behind me. If you like any of it, make me an offer. I'm not auctioning off anything or going through this eBay process anymore. I will at some point create an Etsy and you'll be able to browse it. And I will put links to that Etsy on the forthcoming deekjackson.com website. Now at the moment, Deek Jackson points to a Bandcamp, but I am having a YouTube clone built, and every video I ever made will be on deekjackson.com, including the ones YouTube didn't like, and you will be able to go there and subscribe to that website. You'll be able to buy my music and my art and watch the videos that YouTube doesn't like. Won't that be great? Speaking of videos, I don't know if anybody saw the stream last night of the Resonators doing the Feel So Good album. In an unfortunate technical problem, perhaps caused by YouTube's new streaming interface. 10 bob for the frames, James. Nice. I lost all the comments, so I don't know if you tuned in or not, but I'd like to imagine that some of you did, so I thank you if you did tune in, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I think I'm going to try and put on some regular musical streams, so stay tuned. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the end of the world. Join me again next week for another end of the world, if that's possible. Until then, be well, be free, be happy, and remember, the planet's fucked, it's your fault, and it's getting worse. Have a nice weekend. Oh, what about an outro song? All right, one outro song then. And you know what? Because I've got it, I'm going to play my Muthi. Now for this song I've had to close the windows. Well, I heard a lot of hip-hop and gangster rap. Heard about the whores, bitches, and the crack. Yeah, here from the ghetto and your mama's on the game. Hello, boys. I heard that the style is repeating your name. Chicka, 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 Shim's lady. Bombs I'm dropping, gonna cap your ass. I'm the man, told the world how to grow grass. Well, you get a seed and you water it. More cowbell. Get a seed and you water it. Get a seed and you water it. Let a little light shine on it to grow grass. Well, I hear that you are so down in the hood. Word up. You could probably smoke an ounce of bud. Yeah, I hear it's all about keys and G's. And you ride your nine, your crib and your homies. But the bombs I'm dropping gonna cap your ass. I'm the man, told the world how to grow grass. Well, you get a seed and you water it. Get a seed and you water it. Get a seed and you water it. Let a little light shine on it to grow grass. I saw your video on MTV. Actually, I didn't think it was as good as your last one. Did anybody else see that? He was the biggest pussy I could see. There was ass shaking in your face, a rocker style. But if you didn't have a dollar, they would all run a mile. But the bombs I'm dropping gonna cap your ass. I'm the man, told the world how to grow grass. Now here's the science, it's not complicated. To produce a flower, winter simulated. You time your bike so the plant will be sated. After 8 weeks, you will be elated. Chop it down, dry it out, but try not to cremate it. Now for my legal team, I add to the equation. This information is just for education. Well, you get a seed and you water it. Get a seed and you water it. You get a seed and you water it. Let a little light shine on it to grow grass. Yeah, I heard a lot of hip-hop and gangster rap. Bang, bang. Heard about the whores, bitches, and the crack. Yeah, I hear you from the ghetto and your mama's on the game. I heard the style is repeating your name. Bombs I'm dropping gonna cap your ass. I'm the man, told the world how to grow grass. In many ways, a metaphor for many things. You get a seed and you water it. Thank you. And good night. you.